The term also includes certificates to entitle to securities and government promissory notes. If any company is registered under the Companies Act, then that company is also called as person. Repatriate to India means bringing into India the realized foreign exchange. So any person who falls into the legal authority, legal framework or the legal boundary, that person will also called as a person with respect to FEMA Act. Hello everyone, I am Arun Kumar, lecturer in Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Dear students, welcome to this new session, session number 2 on unit number 4, that is economic laws. In the earlier session, in the first session of this unit, that is unit number 4, we discussed about FEMA 1999 and also the terminologies comes under the FEMA Act 1999. So in this session also, we'll be continuing with the terminologies which we deal under FEMA Act 1999. So here the next terminology is security. So what is this security? We all know the person who protects is called a security. But with respect to FEMA Act, what is security? Right. So if it comes to that, security means shares, stocks, bonds and debentures. Yes. So in financial management, with respect to the business, security refers to the shares, stocks, bonds and debentures, and also the government securities, saving certificates, deposit receipts in respect of deposits of securities and units of the unit trust of India or any mutual fund. So this all called what? Security. So shares, debentures, bonds, government bonds and also government securities, saving certificates and any mutual fund. This is all called securities with respect to FEMA Act 1999. The term also includes certificates to entitle to securities and government promissory notes. Yes, the word security, it also includes the government promissory notes and the title of securities. But it does not include bulk of exchange or promissory notes other than government promissory notes. Yes, securities includes only the promissory notes and the stocks, bonds, shares, debentures, government securities like this, but not the bills of exchange or not the government promissory notes or any instrument which may be notified by the RBI as security for the purpose of this act. Yes. So if any instrument is declared as security by the RBI, then we can call it as a security. And other than that, you cannot call those things as securities. So mainly securities is nothing but shares, debenture, bonds or government securities or saving certificates and depository receipts. These are called securities with respect to FEMA Act. Next, foreign security. So this security with respect to Indian securities, Indian shares, Indian bonds, Indian debentures like that. What is this foreign security? So foreign security is nothing but foreign security means any security in the form of shares. So any security in the form of shares, stocks, bonds, debentures or any other instrument dominated or expressed in foreign currency. Yes, is in case of any security, bonds, debentures which is represented by foreign currency, okay, which is dominated or expressed in foreign currency, those securities are called foreign securities. And the term also includes securities expressed in foreign currency, but where redemption or any form of return such as interest or dividends is payable in Indian currency. Yes, but where redemption or any form of return such as interest or dividend is payable in Indian currency. In case if it is payable in Indian currencies, in those scenarios, we will not call it as foreign security. But if it is payable in foreign currency and if you are purchased any shares, debentures, stocks, bonds and all in foreign currency, then that will be considered as foreign security. And the next one, Indian currency. So in the last class, in the last session, we discussed about what is currency, what is Indian, foreign currency. Now, what is Indian currency? So Indian currency is nothing but Indian currency means which is expressed or drawn in Indian rupee. Yes, which is expressed in Indian rupee. That is 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees. If it comes in dollars, like $10,000, it's a foreign currency. Indian currency, we express in rupees, right? So any monetary value which is expressed in Indian rupees is called the Indian currency, but does not include special bank notes and special 1 rupee notes issued under Section 28A of the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Yes, all the currency notes, Indian rupee notes are considered as Indian currency except the special notes and 1 rupee notes issued by the Bank of India Act 1934. So that is called Indian currency. That means all the currencies values will be expressed in rupees, in terms of rupees, like 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, in that way. In case if it is expressed in foreign currency like 100 euros, it is called foreign currency. If it is expressed in $100, it is called foreign currency. In case if it is expressed in Indian currency, then it will be called as Indian currency. If it is expressed in rupees, it is called as Indian currency. Next thing, persons. So who is called persons? See, in income tax also we have persons. In Companies Act also we have persons. In RBI also we have persons. In the same way, if it comes to FEMA Act, who is called person? So a company can be called as person. A cooperative of society is also called as a person. A registered authority of people is also called as a person. A municipal corporation is also called person. An individual is also called person. Or partnership is also called person. Likewise, any group of members or any individuals who forms legally, those people are called persons with respect to taxation. If it comes to FEMA Act here, person means person includes the following, that is an individual. Yes, person means any individual body like you and me, like Rama, Mr. Lakshmana, or Mr. Raghu, or Mr. Krishna, okay, or Mr. Srinivasa. Okay. Likewise, any individual person is also called a person under FEMA Act. And a Hindu undivided family, that means a joint family. Okay, a joint family. Because in joint family there will be more than 10 or 15 people. Okay, one elder person will be there. He will be taking care of all the financial aspects, or he will be taking care of all the aspects of the family. So there, everything is in the family, and every decision will be taken by the karta. Okay, the person who is going to take care of the family, that person is called as what? Karta. The elder person who is responsible for everything in the joint family, that person will be called as Karta, and that Karta will be dealing about all the aspects of that HUF, that is Hindu undivided family, and he will be paying the tax to the government, or he will be dealing on behalf of the family in any business or in any aspect. So that is why HUF is also called as a person. Okay, if there are 5 elders, in 5 elders, one most elder person will be taking care of all the aspects. So any individual will be called as person, any Hindu undivided family is also called as a person, and a company. If any company is registered under the Companies Act, then that company is also called as person. Because while we are dealing with any aspects, while we are dealing with anything, we will not call the company name or individual name. We call that person name. Okay. Who is the person, we will ask. ABC Company Limited, or what we will say, individual person, Mr. Rama, we will say. ABC Company, we will say. Or any private limited, we will say. So there, while representing that company, those people will be called as person, whether it's an individual or Hindu undivided family or a company or a firm, any partnership firm. If any partnership firm is running, they will not call that partnership firm by the name of the owners. They call the partnership by the name of the company name, the business name. So any partnership or any company or any Hindu undivided family and any individual will be called as person, and also an association of persons or body of individuals, whether incorporated or not. Yes, an association, a group of persons or body of individual will be also called as a person with respect to FEMA Act, 1999. And next, every artificial judicial person not failing within any of the reading subclause. Okay, any of the receding subclause. So every artificial jurisdiction persons. So any person who falls into the legal authority, legal framework or the legal boundary, that person will also call as a person with respect to FEMA Act. Next, any agencies, office or branch owned or controlled by such persons. Yes, any agency or offices or branch owned by any artificial jurisdictional persons, then those offices, those branches will also called as person under FEMA Act 1999. So these are all the people who called as person under the FEMA Act 1999. So moving further, next terminology is person resident in India. So when we call the person resident in India, if it comes to residential status of an individual under section 6 of the Income Tax Act, the way we deal with that, it's different. Basic condition, additional condition. If you satisfy first basic condition or both additional condition, then you will be called as resident of India. That scenario is different. But here, how we deal with it? So here, person resident in India includes the following. So for whom we call as the resident of India. So this is the conditions what we have here. A person who is residing in India for more than 182 days, the person who is residing in India for more than 182 days, except a person who stays outside India for any purpose, for example, employment or business purpose. In case if any person go out of India with a purpose of employment or for business purpose, and a person who stays in India for any purpose other than uncertain period. Yes, if a person is going outside for employment purpose or business purpose or due to some uncertainty, those people will be exceptional. And other people, if he stays in India for 182 days, if he stayed in India in the previous year for 182 days, except these two situations, and a body corporated registered in India. See, if a person stayed in India for 182 days in the previous year, then that person will be called as the person resident of India. And if any company registered in India, if any company registered as per the Companies Act of India, then that company will also called as a resident in India. And an office or branch or agency outside India owned or controlled by a person resident in India. Yes, any person's business, branches or offices which are owned outside India but controlled from India, and if that person, the owner of the business, is in India, then obviously that particular person will also be called as the resident of India. So mainly in three situations we are going to call that person as a resident in India. The first situation is if the person stayed in India for 182 days in the previous year. Exceptional cases are if we go for business purpose or if we go for any employment purpose, and due to uncertainties if you go and stay in abroad, that is exceptional. Other than that, if he stays for 182 days in India, and if the business of a person is registered in India, and if any person doing business outside India, if you have any branches outside India but the business is controlled from India, the owner is in India, then that case, in all these three cases, that particular person will be called as the resident of India. So I hope you understood what is this resident of India. So moving further, next one is person resident outside India. So who is called the outside Indian? Who is called non-resident of India? So person resident outside India means a person who is not resident in India. That means if he is not a resident of India, if he is not staying in India, if he is not running his business in India, and if he is not running any kind of business in India, then that person will be called as the resident outside India. That means any foreigner will be called as non-resident or outside resident of India. Next one, repatriate of India. So what is this repatriate of India? So repatriate to India means bringing into India the realized foreign exchange. Yes, bringing into India the realized foreign exchange. In case whatever the amount you're supposed to receive foreign amounts or in the foreign currency that you'll be bringing into the India. The selling of such foreign exchange to an unauthorized person in India in exchange for rupees. Yes. So the selling of such foreign exchange to an authorized person in India in exchange for rupees. Yes. So what we will do, we exchange the currency. So we go for authorized person and we exchange the foreign currency with the Indian rupees. So if any foreigner is coming to India, what he'll do, he go with his currency, his foreign currency like dollars or euros or pounds, and he exchange with the authorized exchange center. So that is what the statement says. And the holding of realized amount in an account with an authorized person in India to the extent of notified by the RBI. So whatever the amount we exchange with the authorized exchange center, that amount should be in a particular account which is extended notified by the RBI. And the term also includes uses of the realized amount for the discharge of a debt or liability denominated in foreign exchange. So this is called the repatriate of India. That means the exchange of foreign currency in India, how they come and exchange the foreign currency, with whom they are supposed to exchange, whether with the authorized person or with the unauthorized person, and if they exchange the currency for Indian rupees, where they are supposed to keep that amount, in which account they are supposed to keep that amount, and for what and all purpose they can use the amount, what exchange the amount, for what and all purpose they can use the amount. Next one, service. So service means services of any description which is made available to potential users. Services also includes the provision of facilities in connection with banking, financial, insurance, medical assistance, legal assistance, chit funds, real estate, transportation, processing, supply of electrical or other energy, boarding or lodging or both, entertainment, amusement, or purveying of news or other information, but does not include the rendering of any services free of charge or under a contract of personal service. So you all know what is service. If you are giving any services, for example, auto services, cab services, or services like legal services or medical services, insurance services, real estate services, medical services, health services, and supply of electricity, what and all the services we provide, all those services are called service. But if you are giving it for free of cost, if you are giving it personally, then that will not be considered as a service. Next thing is transfer. So what is transfer? Transfer includes sale or purchase or exchange, mortgage, pledge, gift, loan, or any other form of transfer of light title, possession, or land. That means transferring of any authority or transferring of any asset, that is sale of any asset or purchase of any asset or exchange of mortgage, everything will be called as the transfer as per the FEMA Act 1999. And moving further, exemptions from holding and repatriation. So exemption from holding and repatriation. In the following cases, the foreign exchange earned can be held or invested outside India. In case of following cases, foreign exchange earned can be held or invested outside India. That means if you are earning the foreign exchange, if you are earning the foreign exchange, you can invest outside India or need not to be repatriated. That is again section H to India. That means need not to be bring back to India in some scenarios. So possession of foreign currency up to a specified limit. In case if you are possessing the foreign currency up to a specific limit, you need not to exchange with Indian currency or need not to give any reason for the Indian authority. Next, holding foreign currency account. In case if you are holding any foreign currency account with you, then your account need not to be repatriation. It will not come under the repatriation. You can save the amount in your foreign currency account. Next thing is foreign exchange received before July 1947. Any foreign exchange received by any individual before July 1947, that currency need not to hand over or need not to be exchanged with the Indian rupees. And next, foreign exchange acquired by way of gift or inheritance. In case if you are receiving any foreign currency in the form of gift, at that time also you need not to be repatriated with the foreign currency. Next thing, foreign exchange acquired abroad. In case if you are acquiring the foreign exchange in abroad, then you need not to be repatriated. And the last thing is any other receipt specified by the RBI. So these are all the situations where your account need not to be repatriated. You need not to be show any required documents when you are exchanging the foreign currency or if you are owning the foreign currency. Next thing and the last thing is authorized person. So who is called this authorized person? Authorized person means an authorized dealer, money changer, offshore banking unit, or any other person authorized to deal in foreign currency or foreign securities. So authorized person is nothing but the person who helps us for exchange of money, or the person who is a dealer for money exchange or offshore banking unit, or any person authorized who deal with the foreign exchange. The person who deal with the foreign exchange of foreign currency to Indian currency or Indian currency to foreign currency, the person who facilitate for that, the person who give that facility, that person will be called as the authorized person as per the FEMA Act 1999. So with this, I'm going to wind up this session. I'll come up with few more new topics in the upcoming sessions. Until then, thank you all. Have a nice day. Namaste.